By now, you've probably heard this just in. There's a direct connection between diet and health. But what you might not know is that food can have healing powers. This is dietitian Allie Miller with Naturally Nourished. You're here with some foods to break down to let us know to combat specific issues. And the first one we want to talk about is inflammation. Inflammation can be linked to a lot of common diseases and ailments. What do you got to combat inflammation?
Absolutely. So inflammation is the underlying cause of a lot of chronic conditions. And with Naturally Nourished, we look at identifying the root causes of conditions versus silencing the symptoms. And so with inflammation, we want to use anti-inflammatory foods, of course. We're looking at our omega-3s. So we're looking at things like my chia seeds here. We're looking at also botanicals such as ginger. You can also get your omega-3s in things such as wild salmon. But what's interesting here, I have a chart of foods, is that each individual has different responses to foods and can have an inflammatory response to even an anti-inflammatory food if they have a hidden sensitivity.
There's also something called oxidative damage. It sounds like a technical term, and it probably is, but it's been linked to diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer.
Absolutely.
And you say that, you know, fresh veggies and fruit, which we know fresh veggies and fruit are good for you regardless, but specifically, you know, guarding against that.
Yes, so there's particularly higher antioxidants, and so cacao, which is your raw chocolate, the seed that chocolate's made out of, is one of the highest antioxidants on the planet. So what that does is it prevents the damage to things like Alzheimer's, those plaque formations. It's going to protect and prevent those types of complications.
Okay, too much of anything can be bad. Too much,
yes.
My mom always said that, too much of anything can be bad. That's called toxicity. That's the medical term, I guess.
Sure.
So what are some detoxifying
So
foods?
I run detoxification programs at my practice, and I recommend it just like changing the oil of your car to detox your body, focus on your liver and your kidneys, and there's particular nutrients that support that. We look at our cruciferous vegetables, so things like our cabbage, our Brussels sprouts, our cauliflower, our kale, those all help to facilitate the detoxification process.
There can also be hormonal issues that can cause, in women or men for that matter, infertility.
Yes.
What do you got for that?
Infertility or imbalance. So a lot of men actually are going through what's called andropause, where their testosterone levels are going down, as we know. And so we use things like mushrooms actually help to decrease the conversion of their testosterone into estrogen. Zinc helps to, in the pumpkin seeds, balance your hormonal levels. The yam and the sweet potato, and also maca. It's a root. It's a powder that helps with progesterone balance.
Finally, very quickly, because we want to get to your
Sure.
smoothie, your balancing
Yes.
smoothie, but talk about bacteria
Sure.
and what you can do to fight.
So bacteria can cause all sorts of things, from IBS, irregular bowels, and even things like depression and anxiety. And so it can have a psychological impact as well. So we want to use the probacteria foods to keep the bacteria living. We have more bacteria cells in our body than we do cells, bacteria, organisms.
Okay, let's talk about your balancing smoothie. I mean, this
Sure.
can be essentially used as medicine, really. You say.
Absolutely. So food can be medicine. We started with soaked cashews, and it's important to soak them to activate the nutrients and decrease the anti-nutrients. So
Now, why cashews specifically? Because nuts are very healthy in general, aren't they?
Yes. I chose the cashews because they're going to have some good vitamins and minerals in them. They're also going to have some of our omega-6s, which help with our hormonal balance.
Okay.
So we're blending these to make a cashew milk. You could do this with almonds as well. So it's 2 cups of soaked nuts with 5 cups of filtered water. We'll let this run.
So you need to get the nuts all mixed up before you put the other stuff in.
Yes, so it's very simple to make the nut milk like this. Then you can strain it off if you would like. I'm going to strain some of mine here.
Okay.
And if you wanted, you could maintain some of that fiber, let it run for a little bit longer, and you'd get a nice milky nut milk. So now we're going to take 2 cups of our nut milk in here, which we have left. We're going to take a banana to give a little bit of that natural sweetness. We're going to take those cacao nibs for the antioxidants, get a little bit of chocolate.
Well, that's going to add to the flavor as well,
sweet.
right?
Absolutely. A little bit bitter in the natural form, but very high in antioxidants. So the banana balances that out. A little bit of almond butter for some protein and essential fats. We're also going to put in some of that maca root that I mentioned to help with the progesterone. Also an adaptogen for stress pathways, and some flax seeds, and those bind the excess estrogen and have the omega-3s for anti-inflammatory support. So blend that all up.
I feel like I'm getting healthier just watching you do this. We're out of time right now, but I'm going to have a taste of that. You can get the recipe. It's available at HoustonTexasFood.com. Allie, go ahead and keep going, because I'm gonna drink that up and get healthy here. So thank you for stopping by.
Good. Getting into